Hi, welcome to Thrive Talks. This is an initiative where I'm getting a lot of professionals to speak on various topics which are associated with sports psychology or any other questions that might be related to sports psychology. Today, we have a very interesting guest with us. We have Sandhya Shivakumar, who is a clinical psychologist who specializes in screen time, which I know is a concern, a major concern that most parents have today. So that's why I brought her on today. She's going to be talking about something very interesting regarding screen time. And welcome to this episode where we talk about screen, sport, and sanity. So, screen time is one of the biggest challenges that parents also face. I think children also face. What do you think happens when children, especially in sport, watch a lot of screen?
Okay, so firstly, I think sports requires children to be highly, present
Mm.
and attentive and have like sustained concentration.
Yeah.
And when we talk about screen time, that's exactly the areas of, executive function which gets impacted.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to mention that it's not really about screen time as such. It's also the age. And when I say age, I mean the age of exposure and also the age at which they are playing the sport. The age totally in the context matters. So let's say the child has been exposed at a much earlier age. You're talking about self-regulation difficulties
Yeah.
setting in sooner than later. So that will interfere with how good they play, how well they're able to take the sport, and how well they perform, and all of that. And that in turn again will influence how much time they spend on screen. Honestly, I would imagine if it's an outdoorsy kid, screen time will just be like, okay, I'm bored, I have a couple of minutes, let me see what my friends are doing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be something that's engaging them so much. And of course, it's important to talk about the dopamine involved.
Mm.
So the feeling of goodness from serotonin, the motivation, the feeling of wellness, everything comes from the dopamine hit,
Yeah.
which I think is running parallelly against the screen time as well, which is
Correct.
again a dopamine related activity. So they are kind of weirdly like competing activities in the brain.
Yeah.
But it does depend on the child's age a lot and the frequency with which they watch it.
Mm.
Like, for example, if you say they are in the middle of, say, a practice session,
Yeah.
and then they're saying, let me just grab my phone and scroll through
Yeah.
on WhatsApp, reply to my friends and everything. That's it. There
Yeah.
you've drifted apart from that present moment. So it can really be about, self-regulation, staying in the moment, staying focused, maybe even some amount of self-reflection, practicing what did I just practice, come back and, what can I do better?
Yeah.
So this sort of forethought and, kind of mindfulness may take a hit, even if you think it's just some mindless scrolling you do for a few minutes and come back. It need not even be some game that you're playing that
Yeah.
you're addicted to, none of that.
Yeah.
But something as basic as this in their everyday life
Yeah.
is, I
Yeah.
would imagine.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. I think, yeah, this is what people say, they have lesser attention spans, they have lesser attention control.
Absolutely.
This is what they talk about, I guess. But tell me something, is all screen time really bad? Do we have good screen time, bad screen time? Because I know of a lot of schools and probably residential academies that completely ban phone usage. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Again, especially in the later parts of the teens, right? 16, 17, 18. I feel, in my opinion, I feel like a lot of them are not exposed to using the phone, and hence they end up overusing it a little later, or when they end up going for competitions or something like that. So is there, one, is there good screen time, bad screen time? So that's one thing. Secondly, how do we look at how, if there is a good screen time, bad screen time, how do we encourage them to start looking at good screen time?
Okay. So again, like I mentioned, it's not good or bad. It's related to maybe say the unhealthy and healthy exposure in some sense.
Yeah.
So if we take age, for example, I would consider 1-year-old or a 10-month-old, 5-month-old's exposure bad.
Correct.
Okay, so it's also one, the age factor,
Yeah.
two, the context. So what are they exposed to? So it can be something like mindless cartoons just for keeping them entertained and so that the parents can get some job done. Or it could be something that's meaningful at a slightly older age. They're learning something. It's educational.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of research that says that as they grow up, the more you involve them in regulating their own screen time, by the time they hit teens or slightly older, they know how much to prioritize that and do something else instead of that, right?
Absolutely.
So not really good and bad, but more like healthy and unhealthy exposure to say that this much is too much, because it's like addiction. You have to see if they have a preference for screen over people. If they have a dependence on it for other activities, which you will see like alcohol addiction, smoking,
absolutely,
where they depend on that to let's say get over a difficult time experience, or if they want to eat, the screen meal association is one thing. And then if they have transition difficulty, like let's say you have to go take a bath, read a book and go to bed and things like that. So if you're going to be sitting and watching that in the evening and they're throwing a tantrum that I will not do this. So those are signs to look for. And say that currently maybe you've introduced it too soon.
Got it.
Or that, maybe you're introducing too much. Or that they're having not enough help in learning how to regulate it. Yeah, so that's what I would say. Not as good or bad, but and one more thing is the content. So age, context, and the content. When I say content, I mean even things like the pace, how much of stimulation and everything. And sometimes kids don't have to completely avoid because then there's that element of social connectedness, activity. There is research which says that actually adequate, like optimal level of exposure is actually more beneficial. So it means you feel good when you talk to your friends, you connect, and you maybe are together in some game which connects you socially in discussion, team play and things like that. So those are okay, just age appropriate basically.
Yeah, makes sense, makes a lot of sense. And one final question to literally like the icing on the cake. So what do you think parents can do in this instance? So when do you think they need to step up? And I think I'm looking at parents of 14-year-olds to 18-year-olds. I know that's a vast age group, but still I think maybe 14, 15 we handle a little differently, 16 to 18 we may. So what would you suggest to parents at that, who have children at that age group?
Yeah, it's going to be a hard pill to swallow, but it is primarily modeling. Like you can't be doing something and then asking your child to do something else.
Yes.
So up until 14, what you practiced, that also matters.
Correct.
So we still, this is 2025, so we're actually talking about post 2000. Kids are, those kids who have been born in that internet generation.
Absolutely.
So if they saw you using in the bathroom, in the kitchen, outside corridor, in the hall, everywhere, wherever you use, then parents need to regulate themselves. And often I do find that parents find it difficult to regulate themselves.
Absolutely.
So then they just get spoken back to. And then they don't know what to say after that.
Correct.
And second thing is, I don't think parents give, many parents rather, not all, give the children a choice. Like if they're teens and maybe closer to young adulthood, they do have strong will, a sense of autonomy and independence, rebellion, all of that. So if you're gonna say you're grounded, or that it's okay, you have to, I'm gonna snatch it away from you. I had this one client who came in with her son and said, I used to do this when he was 9 and 10, now he's about 13, 14. Now he's physically older, like looking bigger than me. And I can't grab it from his hand. But she's still trying to do that. So it's not negotiable for them that you can actually sit down, have a conversation, and get them to get on a contract, like verbally at least.
Absolutely.
And definitely do have some behavioral consequences, like Don't let them have it all
Yeah.
and just be like, yeah, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So accountability, taking
Yeah.
responsibility, those are values that, like I said, you
It'll
can't just
help
wake up.
either way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just wake up and have it.
Correct.
But it's in the parenting that you've done which will reflect even in this
Absolutely.
area of life. It can be anything like eating junk or
Yeah.
hanging out with a certain kind of peers,
Yeah.
which you may have to avoid and things like
Correct.
that. So
Correct.
I think screen is one such. It's no,
Absolutely.
sort of strange or unique thing, but
Yeah.
it's just one such area where you have to regulate yourself.
Got it.
And these are things parents have to do, like model it,
Yeah.
have a conversation where you respect, even if it means you don't agree with what they're saying.
Absolutely.
But talk about it.
Yeah.
And definitely give them some consequence, because ultimately, I mean, you're not their friend. You can be
Correct.
friendly, but you have to tell them that, I'm sorry, but I'm responsible for your safety and well.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not something you have to like, but we still have to do it. So I think that way they also learn to help themselves and see the long-term gain.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's just about, you're not letting me do this right now.
Impulse
You don't
control.
like me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 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 I think that makes a lot of sense, and I really hope this helps parents as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.